Good. 10 seconds because it takes fucking ages to record. Yeah. Lovely. Right, Nina, off you go. Happy Easter. I ate my egg last night, but I shouldn't have. Happy Easter. I ate my egg last night, but I shouldn't have.
Joyeux Pâques. J'ai mangé mon œuf hier, mais j'ai pas dû.
I shouldn't have.
J'aurais pas dû.
Lovely, j'aurais pas dû. Joyeuse Pâques. Joyeuse Pâques. Alors, j'ai mangé mon œuf hier soir, mais j'aurais pas dû.
Pas dû.
Good. I don't buy myself this kind of crap, but if somebody leaves it for me, I have no willpower.
Yeah, me too. Je me suis pas.
Pause. You are going into a tense that is correct and which is comfortable for you, but in this narrative, it's not the story I want to tell.
Okay.
Yeah? Generally, present tense. I don't buy myself this kind of crap. Not. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Je m'en achète pas.
That is another story. That's not the story I'm telling now. I don't buy myself this kind of crap. There's no room for a pronoun because what we're buying is at the end.
Crap. Okay. All right. Let's try again.
So Nina, generally slow it down so that we intellectually can make that decision firmly. All right.
Okay. Je m'achète pas ce genre de merde, mais quand quelqu'un me laisse, j'ai pas de pouvoir, j'ai pas de puissance.
Mess. Stop. When someone leaves it for me, I don't have any. So, quand quelqu'un. What tense are you in when someone leaves it for me? All of you guys, even the advanced lot, hate the present tense, and I don't know why. Yeah. Let me tell you, I know why, but I mean, I don't know why you don't. So the fact is, unless you are doing it right freaking now, you guys think that the present tense is inappropriate. So in other words, if you're like, right now, I'm speaking to my friend Luke, you guys are comfortable with that being in the present tense. If it's like, in this stage of my life, when I do this crap, that is also present tense. Yeah. But it just doesn't feel the same for you guys. So that's why this keeps happening. So when someone leaves me, quand quelqu'un me laisse, you know, quand quelqu'un me donne, quand quelqu'un present tense, you know, j'ai aucune volonté. Yeah, je peux pas résister. I can't resist. All right.
Okay.
Good. I think I'm going to have an apple because it purifies the system. I think I'm going to have an apple because it purifies the system.
Je pense que je vais avoir une pomme parce que purifier le système.
If a verb is not 100% with you, if it's 90 or 80 or 70, be mindful of the fact that the brain will have less experience conjugating it. So when you think of it, the brain will go, oh yeah, purifier. Yeah. Be careful. You wouldn't give me an infinitive for a verb you are more familiar with. So in other words, it purifies the system.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Il purifie le système.
Yeah. Or yeah. Lovely. So if we're on about an apple, elle purifie, or the action of eating an apple, in other words, a non-discernible noun being the it, would be a ça purifie le système. So that's your choice to make with the word it. So if you say, oh, I'm going to, hang on 1 second. So if I say, you know, I'm going to eat this apple, it's whatever. Alors moi, je vais manger cette pomme. Elle est, if your it refers to this apple. Okay. If you say, I'm going to eat this apple, it's going to do me some good, meaning the action of eating the apple rather than a discernible noun, ça va me faire du bien. All right?
Yeah.
Good. And we say croquer une pomme. Pardon me?
Oh.
Same as last night. Excuse me for speaking with my mouth full.
Excuse-moi pour parler avec... excuse-moi.
What goes after moi and parler? Between moi and parler.
Ah oui, excuse-moi de parler avec ma bouche pleine.
La bouche pleine.
That was the correction. Avec la bouche pleine.
Pause. Knock up the sharpness of pleine. C'est pleine.
Pleine.
Yeah, excuse-moi de parler avec la bouche pleine. You know me, I like slow and I like correct, but just try that on faster. Excuse-moi de parler avec la bouche pleine. Excuse-moi de parler avec la bouche pleine.
Excuse-moi de parler avec la bouche pleine. Excuse-moi de parler avec la bouche pleine.
So sometimes, whilst I personally think it's much more accomplished to be able to speak slightly more slowly and with the vowels just gorgeous, the faster shit is a really good way of locking down the muscle memory. Well, excuse-moi de parler avec la bouche pleine. If you can do that, it just locks the muscle memory in a bit better. Good. Good. I only like grannies. Same word in French. Same word. Granny Smiths. We say the granny. Yeah. I only like grannies. I don't like apples when they're softer and sweeter.
Okay. Je kiffe que les grannies. J'aime pas les pommes quand elles sont
Softer.
Yeah, douces, quand plus douces et plus was it sweet? Quand plus douce et plus.
Tell me you're working. We're in France. We can't be doing the working now.
Quand elles sont plus douces et plus sucrées.
Good. If you say je kiffe tes grannies, then kiffe can also be used for like fetishes. So in my mind, that's like, oh, I really love old women or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, you can, but kiffe is quite trendy. I personally would no longer use kiffe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me personally. So like, oh, je kiffe tes baskets. It's like, oh, I love your sneakers, that kind of thing. I love your trainers. You know, it's just like your kiffe, like you know, like a noun can be like the thing that turns you on. Do you know what I mean? Like a fetish. So yeah. Good.
I dig your something.
Yeah.
Okay, like just all right.
You know, and yeah. I only like grannies. I only eat grannies. Je ne mange que des pommes. Je ne mange que des grannies. Okay, je ne mange que des grannies. Okay. Good.
Well, you know what? I went with lay because I thought you were talking about just in general all grannies.
Yeah.
Should it have been day?
The grannies that I'm eating, yeah, je mange que des. Yeah, I want to say day there. Yeah, je ne mange que des grannies. Okay, because it's like that kind of. Yeah, my mouth wants day there.
Okay.
Susan asked me a really interesting question last night about the appropriate preposition with food.
Ouais. Susan m'a demandé, ou Susan m'a posé une question très importante au sujet de quelle préposition est le meilleur ou quelle préposition de choisir avec les nourritures.
So all the words for food that you're generally going to come across, la nourriture, la bouffe, you know, yeah. So Suzanne m'a posé une question. Well done. Demandez quelque chose, posez une question. So Suzanne m'a posé une question très intéressante hier soir à propos de qui concerne, what would I say, qui concernait qui s'agissait d'eux, qui était à propos des prépositions et la bouffe. Okay. The fact that she's thinking about it already has done half the work. The fact that she's thinking about it already has done half the work.
Le fait qu'elle le pense
No,
about it. Oui. Le fait qu'elle y pense already.
Don't stop the flow.
Sorry,
you can't stop the flow to do the working out. You're in a French situation, you're in a dinner party, go around it if necessary, get to the end.
OK. Le fait qu'elle y pense ça veut dire que le moyen de le travailler est fini.
Good. Get to the end. Lovely. You've got the idea in your head. You've got the narrative in your head. Good. Le fait qu'elle y pense déjà, ça veut dire que la moitié du travail est déjà fait. La moitié du travail est déjà fait. OK? Ou a déjà été fait. A menu? No, I don't think so. I think it's important to be able to read. I think it's important to be able to recognize these words when you read them. I think it's important to be able to recognize these words when you read them. If people go to France and they read menus and stuff, I think it's like, it's a good source of vocabulary, but like people always think it's quite a niche thing, like, oh, I'm not going to bother with food. And I'm a bit like, and you know me, I don't teach like phrase book holiday French, but I do sort of think, it really kills the whole kudos and image that you've kind of built up, especially if you're out for dinner and you kind of can't do the food thing. I don't know. I just think it's just like, it's just a good area to get the vocab down on. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's me. I think it would be a good idea to concentrate when it comes to this kind of language. I think it would be a good idea to concentrate when it comes to this kind of language.
Je pense que ça serait une bonne idée de se concentrer quand il s'agit de ce genre de langue.
Ce genre de... What's the word for language I want? Langue doesn't exist in French.
Okay, ce genre de langue.
Good, but that would be a foreign language. I want ce genre de langage.
Ah, langage.
Langage is language within a language. So business, IT, culinary, fashion. Yeah.
Okay. Langage.
Yeah, langage. Okay. Great. Lovely. The weather is rotten. Nothing to do with yesterday. The weather's rotten. Nothing to do with yesterday.
Il fait mauvais, il fait de merde, ça n'a rien à voir avec hier.
Good. Il fait mauvais was a nice go round, but I would literally like the weather is rotten.
Okay. Le temps est pourri.
Can we have a bit more ask grade? Pourri.
Pourri.
Okay. C'est un temps de shot. You'll also hear as well. C'est un temps de shot, but it's just a bit rude. Okay. Yesterday, I burned my skin.
Hier, je me suis fait brûler la peau.
Yeah, well, to be fair, even though it wasn't me literally burning my own skin, we would often say, well, je me suis cramé la peau. Yeah, je me suis cramé la peau. Slang French for burn. Oh putain, je me suis cramé la peau. J'ai eu une rayon de,
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I should have put some cream on it.
J'aurais dû mettre j'aurais dû.
We get one shot. Don't go there. We're up as far as mettre. Think.
J'aurais dû mettre de la crème sur
we don't need on it. If you're talking about dessus or de don or any of that stuff, you don't need the verb mettre. Mettre is such a versatile little word.
Right. Okay.
You can, but you don't need it. Mettre is kind of like an application verb. Il faut mettre un peu de crème. You don't need mettre un peu de crème dessus. You could, but you can get away without it. Okay. J'aurais dû mettre un peu de crème. J'aurais pu mettre de la crème. Okay. Okay. I knew that the weather had changed because I heard the wind at 4 o'clock this morning. Smoothly, slowly. I knew that the weather had changed because I heard the wind at 4 o'clock this morning.
J'ai su que le temps a changé parce que...
Pardon me. No. I'm going to say the same thing. I'm going to say, number one, I am saying had in English, but we can't go off our English because Nina is capable of thinking from her thoughts and going straight into French. Timeline. Which came first, the weather changing or me hearing shit?
The weather changing.
So the weather changed and I then heard. So that fact that one past is before the other past needs reflection in your...
Okay. J'ai su que le temps avait changé parce que j'ai entendu le vent.
That would be I spread out. J'ai entendu.
J'ai entendu le vent. Is that what you said, the wind?
Yeah, at 4 o'clock this morning.
À 4 heures ce matin.
Good. Or à 4 heures du matin, you'll often hear.
Du matin.
Ou à 4 heures du mat. You'll also say du mat. Ouais, à 4 heures du mat. Hey, mais je t'ai appelé. Oui, mais tu vois, à 3 heures du mat, c'est trop tard. Yeah, okay. Good. The woman opposite is always up at that time.
Okay.
Fuck knows why, but yeah, the woman opposite is always up at that time.
La femme à côté de moi, elle est toujours se lever à ce temps.
Pause. What does se lever mean as a verb? To get up, yeah?
Yeah, okay.
So if you use it in any context, it is referring to the action of getting up.
Okay.
So if you wanted to say she was up, you would then need to say she had gotten up.
Okay.
Elle s'était levée. So she'd gotten up before I saw.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
What do I say for she was up? Elle était debout.
Debout.
That's it. Nice OUs, Nina. Okay. Very nice OUs. Okay. Yeah. T'es encore debout? T'es toujours debout? Yeah, debout. Okay. Notice there's no debout. Yeah. Yeah. Good. I've just started working with a girl called Lindsay. She's friends with Mike, the Canadian guy, you know, with the ponytail. I've just started working with a girl called Lindsay. She's friends with Mike, the Canadian guy, you know, with the ponytail.
Okay. Je viens de travailler avec une femme qui s'appelle...
Pardon me. I've just started working with a girl called Lindsay. I've just started working with a girl called Lindsay.
Ah oui. Je viens de commencer à travailler avec une fille qui s'appelle Lindsay. Elle est une amie d'un mec qui tu connais, qui s'appelle Marc. Il a queue de cheval.
Good, not bad. Don't do an et link until you are on the word that it links with, because we just don't do it. Next, qui ou que there? Is it un mec qui tu connais or un mec que tu connais?
Un mec que tu connais.
If you are changing subject pronouns.
Yes.
Okay. Can you say for me, je viens de commencer à plus the verb that you're going to go into, make that interesting. So make travailler interesting. So in other words, you've got two kind of modal verbs. Where je viens de travailler, your interest is on travailler.
Yeah.
J'ai commencé à travailler, your interest is on travailler.
Yeah.
You're used to the verb after viande being interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Advanced correction. Can you now not make it interesting? And can you make the verb that comes after that? Where je viens de commencer à travailler? So in other words, like I said, sometimes we go with telling the brain, hey, I'm really interested in travailler. And sometimes we go with telling the brain, hey, I'm not remotely interested in commencer. Whatever works for you. Oui, je viens de commencer à travailler. All I'd say is you need to be up and running with a system where you can hear where there's not that many kings and queens in the sentence. Otherwise, you'll miss commencer à. Okay.
Yeah.
So oui, je viens de commencer à travailler avec. Up you go. So just say that for me. I've just started with a girl called Lindsay.
Je viens de commencer à travailler avec une fille.
Well done, Nina. That's exactly right. You take my point. All right?
But you have to have the speed. Yeah, when I'm just going so slow to work it out.
No. Can you now go again really slowly on the flat and put the interest on travailler? It is not about the speed.
Okay.
Don't put interest on commencer. Slowly. Put interest on travailler, but go slowly.
Okay. Je viens de commencer à travailler.
Now look, je viens de commencer à travailler. Yeah.
Okay.
So keep it on the flat. Keep it down. Even so, oui, tu vois, what's your brother doing these days? Oh, he's just started working, like in this hospital, Ouais, en fait, ouais, il vient de commencer à travailler dans, okay, okay, you don't need the speed to do it, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So there, for example, if I added hospital to the end of travailler wouldn't be interesting.
Right.
It's just started working. I'll say it quickly, I'll say it slowly.
Okay.
Ouais, il vient de commencer à travailler. He's just started working at the hospital. Ouais, il vient de commencer à travailler à l'hôpital. L'hôpital becomes interesting.
Yes.
Slowly, and no less correctly and clearer to a lot of French people, and more of an impressive thing to pull off. Ouais, il vient de commencer à travailler à l'hôpital. Yeah, or il vient de commencer à travailler. So even with the slow speed, we've got that variety of, good. It ain't about the speed. It's about you can go super quickly and still have in too many places, and you can go really slowly and be okay. Yeah. Good. It's what I mean by on the flat. And like I said, women, gay men, tend to have more kings and queens. No pun on queen.
Yeah.
Oui, il m'avait dit qu'il allait sortir ce soir. Yeah. One thing. It's a really excellent plan to practice the Yeah. Il m'avait dit qu'il allait sortir. Almost on purpose, in a fake way, try and say like like almost practice saying it on the same note, the flat notes. Okay. No one's going to say it to you completely like that, but then you're prepped for if somebody does. Yep. Good. Also, if I'm really honest, people as advanced as you will often pop in a king and queen as a sneaky way to buy a bit more time.
Of course.
Let's be honest. All right. Good.
Yeah.
I've got half the apple left. Apple left.
Il me reste la moitié de la pomme.
Can we go again without too many kings and queens?
Yes. Il me reste la moitié de la pomme.
Il me reste la moitié de la pomme. Okay, good. Okay. Or il me reste la moitié de la pomme. Don't think speed makes it more French. Slow can make it more French. Really? In fact, if anything, the rhythm is more available than slightly slower speed. All right.
Okay.
This morning, I dragged I would say, Charlie, you'd say shopping cart from the garden centre because the son of a bitch refused to do a delivery. The wife is amazing. The guy is an asshole. This morning I dragged, no, we'll do schlepped in a minute. This morning I dragged my cart. I dragged my trolley from the garden centre because the son of a bitch refused to do delivery.
Ce matin, j'ai...
Pause. Can we aim in our smoothness not to bodyboard up and down all the time? Yeah.
Okay. Ce matin, j'ai tremblé mon chat.
Trimballer, nice vocab for schlepp. Trimballer. Yeah. So yeah, but that's like schlepp or drag it around with me. Traîner, j'ai traîné.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's more you were going somewhere and you happened to take that shit with you. Do you know what I mean? With trimballer, it's a bit more like, well, no, you could take it on purpose for you could, no, I suppose you could take it on purpose, but you tend to hear it more if it's like, I've had to bring this with me all the way on the metro because, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. J'ai dit transporter, j'ai dû déplacer, j'ai dû porter, j'ai dû, j'ai dit trimballer, j'ai dit traîner, j'ai dû.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Because the son of a bitch refused to do a delivery.
Parce que le fils de pute a refusé de faire une livraison.
Good. Can you go even more slowly? Can you pop it on the flat apart from one word? No. All as a vocal exercise, all on the flat, no interest. Okay. We're not saying that's how people speak. We just want it as a vocal exercise.
Parce que le fils de pute a refusé de faire une livraison.
Good. On the flat means the note is flat. It doesn't mean the speed has to be equal. We've still got the rhythm.
Okay.
And I'm very much interested in that rhythm.
Okay. Parce que le fils de pute a refusé de faire une livraison. I did refuser.
Is it pute or pute?
Sorry, pute.
That's it. Okay, parce que le fils de pute a refusé de faire une livraison.
Okay.
Now you can bring back in kings and queens, very gentle ones. So basically, not a big, so rather than yeah, don't have such a big musical difference, okay? Ouais, parce que le fils de pute a refusé de faire une livraison. Parce que le fils de pute a refusé de faire une livraison. Okay, you will hear that kind of speech. And then when we get someone who's like, oh, mais parce que le fils de pute, il a refusé de faire une livraison, you're home. You're fine, you're cool. Because that shit's nice. But at least you're comfortable if someone's like, wait, mais qu'est-ce que tu veux que je te fasse? You know, then you're in a place of comfort.
Right? Okay.
But, Brenda made me laugh last night when she told me the story about her knickers. Panties, obviously, you know, in America. So Brenda made me laugh last night when she told me the story about her knickers.
Brenda m'a fait rire hier soir quand elle me raconte l'histoire de sa chalotte.
Chalottes is like food. Culottes.
Oh, culotte, okay.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Couldn't get that out.
Culottes in older French used to be more like undergarments, like so there was les sans culottes, but like culottes.
And is that plural?
No, that's fine. But what was I going to say? The word I was just going to say was I'm trying to think of getting to. Do you know what a braguette is? Like a flies, like a guy's fly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought I was trying to think of a sentence with that, but like, so you, in other words, if you said you've got your flies open, you're flying low. Yeah, t'as la braguette ouverte. Okay, good. Good.
I always thought that was a funny word because it's like you're bragging. You're unzipping your bag or something. Like that's how I tried to remember.
That's a woman's opinion on it. That's very interesting, isn't it? Like, it's shocking the number of young people who talk about washing their hands as if it's something new for Corona. It's shocking the number of young people who talk about washing their hands, after the bathroom, as if it's something new for Corona. You've got the story, you've got the idea. Don't hang off my words specifically if you're not that bothered, but tell me my story. Don't go too many kings and queens. Take your time, go.
Okay. C'est choquant le nombre de jeunes qui...
I don't mean this at all rudely, Nina, but I just literally asked you for not too many kings and queens. And you've just literally gone, c'est choquant le nombre. Okay, get rid of it.
Okay.
You're going to be weaker for listening. And I don't want that for you.
Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can do that.
Also, it's telling the person to be interested in something too soon.
Okay.
Think about it. Do you know what? It's shocking. Even in English to say it's shocking, unless you went, it's shocking. And then you got your thoughts together. It's shocking is your thoughts finished.
Yeah.
Normally in English you go, do you know what's shocking? The number of people that think that it's weird to wash your hands even after the bath. Like you're concluding your thought too soon. Don't.
Okay, yeah. C'est choquant le nombre de jeunes
We are creeping up.
Shit. C'est choquant le nombre de jeunes.
Pause. Temporarily. Just save me. Me. All on the same note. Go on.
Me.
That's it. Okay. C'est choquant le nombre de. Off you go. Keep it all on the same note. Falsely. Like, je m'appelle Luc et je suis ton prof de. Keep it all on the same note.
Okay. C'est choquant le nombre de jeunesse qui pensent que c'est...
So I'm going to do this exercise with you for a good 10 minutes. Get used to it. This is great. This is going to do vowels and it's going to do rhythm and it's going to do...
Okay.
So ask me a question. Any question.
En anglais ou en français?
Comme tu veux. Choisis comme tu veux.
Est-ce que tu as regardé le vidéo que je t'ai envoyé?
Non, parce que malheureusement, bien que j'ai envie de la regarder, j'ai pas réussi à la trouver, mais j'ai hyper envie de la voir parce que je sais très bien que tu danses bien. So in other words, I can do that and keep that at that note. Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels a little bit more, dare I say it, working class and a little bit less, involved. You're
Yeah.
somebody I care about a great deal. I wouldn't want to come across that like, ugh. But what you have, like you can have that sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ask me another question. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Then I'm then going to ask you a question, and you're going to try free speech rather than translating, because I want to see if the free speech is going to help you a bit. So ask me any other token fucking question, English or French. I'll respond in French either way.
Okay. Are you getting used to living at your grandmother's home?
Ouais, je m'y suis déjà habitué. En fait, largement, la chose qui l'a rendu plus facile, c'est le fait que je m'entende bien avec mes voisins, mais ça serait triste, quoi. Tu vois, ils vont me manquer beaucoup quand je rentre à Londres, quand je rentrerai à Londres. Yeah, all right, your go. Slowly, as you want. Right. So in other words, what's about to happen here is pretty much an interesting metaphor for your French generally at the moment, which is basically a shitload of material is in the bank, a load of work has been done. We need to be comfortable with what our voice is doing when contemplating. That's basically it. We can't just pimp our sentences that we're already pretty good on. Yep. We need to be absolutely at the height of our French quality on the shit that we don't quite know, or that you do know, but what I would say, knowing it 70%, knowing it 80%, knowing it 90%, not at 100. All right. For the reason that if you can keep this voice thing going, it will just facilitate a better muscle memory of the stuff, ironically, that you're trying to find, won't it? Do you know what I mean? Good. Okay. So, I'm going to ask you the question in the same voice and you're going to respond. Can I make it absolutely clear that I'm not saying this is how you need to speak all the time? You're going to split the difference between what you're doing and this. This is just as an exercise to get rid of... Okay.
Good. Good.
Qu'est-ce que tu aimes faire avec ta petite fille? Qu'est-ce que tu aimes faire avec ta petite fille? Can I suggest in the thinking noises that we don't go, that we kind of stick to the... Go on.
Parce qu'elle a 13 ans, c'est difficile de trouver le temps qu'elle veut passer en...
For me, go a little bit lower.
Okay.
Yeah, go on. Okay, new question. Si tu étais en France et si on était au restaurant, quelle serait la première chose que tu commanderais à manger?
Ça dépend de quel repas que j'étais là pour manger. Mais si c'est du matin, je prendrai du café.
There we go. Lovely. Split the difference between that and where you are. All right?
Okay.
Okay. With a translation. Luke's made me do this exercise.
Luc m'a fait faire cet exercice.
Good. Luc m'a fait faire cet exercice. You're allowed one.
Okay.
Luc.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Luc m'a fait faire cet exercice.
Okay.
I chose to put mine on faire. Luc m'a fait faire cet exercice. Luc m'a fait faire cet exercice. Luc made me do this exercise. Okay. I saw a plant that I liked earlier. I treated myself.
J'ai vu une plante que...
Now, that was interesting because you took the opportunity to go up on the You went, j'ai vu une plante. So you basically did your bodyboarding up on the
Crap.
Let me make my point. I don't have a problem with mobility of vocal notes. Ah oui, mais tout à l'heure, j'ai vu une plante qui m'a beaucoup plu. That's fine, as long as we're not going, j'ai vu une plante qui m'a beaucoup plu. Do you understand what we're saying? Okay.
Yes.
In other words, you can bodyboard up. You know what I mean by the bodyboard? Like when you hit the wave and it goes like, you can do that per thought.
Okay.
Yeah? But I saw a plant that I liked. That's your thought. Oh, mais j'ai vu une plante qui m'a plu. Okay. You can't go, j'ai vu une plante qui m'a plu. You know, because also, what becomes obvious from the exercise of doing it on the same flat level is that it just slows things down as well. And also when you've got the information, it does also slow it down, because if you get in the rhythm of doing that, and also final point, Nina, listening is not something we want to be trifling with at this level. We really, really want to have a really comfortable listening experience. And if you're not used to hearing you know, it's just, it's cool.
Yeah.
Good. So still be engaging, still be interesting, but just not every single word. Love it. What's I treated myself?
Je me suis fait plaisir.
Lovely. Je me suis fait plaisir. Now, can you, for me, and this will be tougher than doing it quickly, can you do je me suis fait plaisir? Can you practice going kind of slowly, but without too much bodyboardage?
Je me suis fait plaisir.
Lovely. Je me suis fait plaisir. Okay. Another thing to aim for at your level is when you're going slightly far, when you're going slowly, is still make sure that the vowels are the king, the main thing. All right.
That's the benefit of going slowly, is to enjoy the vowels. Yeah.
And that's what makes us go, damn, she speaks good. You know, it's like, you know, that's what makes us think this person is capable. Salut, alors moi je m'appelle Nina. Ça fait 2 ans que j'apprends le français. Oui, j'adore votre langue, votre pays. Oh non, c'est ma toute première fois ici. J'ai hâte de découvrir votre ville. Fucking hell, if someone spoke to me like that, you know, I'd be like, damn. Do you know what I mean? Again, and I can't stress this point enough, you don't know the hearing of the person you are speaking to. They might not be comfortable with what I say to Al, you know, like the summer sprinkler on the lawn. We don't want that. Okay, good. Good. Excellent. Keep going. I need to wipe the window because weirdly there are some petals on it. So I need to wipe the window because weirdly there are some petals on it.
J'ai besoin d'essuyer la fenêtre parce que bizarrement il y a des fleurs dessus.
Without the pauses?
J'ai besoin d'essuyer
No.
J'ai besoin d'essuyer la fenêtre parce que bizarrement il y a des fleurs dessus.
I'd have allowed a king and a queen there. Ouais, j'ai besoin d'essuyer la fenêtre parce que bizarrement il y a des fleurs dessus. Yeah, okay. Listen to the note. J'ai besoin d'essuyer la fenêtre. La, parce que bizarrement il y a des fleurs dessus.
Yes.
Lu. So king will be higher than queen, okay?
Okay.
I mean, fuck that analogy. I could say queen is higher than king. I don't want to be like gendered.
Yeah.
But yeah. Good. I tell you what it is as well, Nina. You don't want them to think that that's what you do all the time. Then you lose the power of using a question with a tone of voice. Do you know what I mean? If you think that we've got eska keska versus inversion versus tone of voice, you don't want them to be too used to that and then go, oh, Nina, she's asking me a question. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah.
You know, there are people that talk like that at the end of everything they say, they go up like it's a question. Have you run into people like that?
Do you mean, because that's obviously like a cancer that has spread through the English language.
I don't want to do that because that really drives me crazy when people talk like this.
That Valley Girly stuff. There is that in France, but it's often then with a little cut off of like quoi or tu sais or quoi, like in the middle. So there are, and we don't want it, and it's not desirable.
No.
Okay. I always tell everybody to do the same thing. Find an actor or an actress whose voice you want to copy.
Yes.
I always tell everybody the same thing. Find an actor or an actress whose voice you want to copy.
Je dis toujours tout le monde.
Je dis toujours quoi?
Je dis toujours tout le monde.
No.
Everybody?
Tout le monde's great. Je dis toujours is great. What's wrong between it? Say for me, I'm going to tell Luke.
I just always forget that. Je dis toujours à tout le monde.
Don't stress the correction.
Ah oui, je dis toujours à tout le monde de trouver quelqu'un, peut-être une actrice qui aime sa voix ou son voix et de pouvoir de leur imiter.
Leur imiter ou les imiter?
Les imiter.
Alors moi, je dis toujours la même chose à tout le monde. Trouvez-vous un acteur ou une actrice. Now, subjunctive might pop up here, qui te plaise. Because it might be, well, that could be fancy, but like avec une voix qui te plaise, because basically you don't know whether there would be one. So it could be like, you know, so strictly speaking, is there somebody here who can help you? Quelqu'un ici qui puisse m'aider? You will sometimes get subjunctives from grammar pedants there, but yeah. Alors moi je dis toujours la même chose à tout le monde. Alors trouvez-vous un acteur, une actrice avec une bonne voix, franchement, imite cette personne. Be careful not to choose somebody with a regional accent because it would be confusing for the French. Be careful not to choose somebody with a regional accent because it would be confusing for the French.
Fais gaffe de ne pas choisir quelqu'un avec un accent régional.
Pause. Regional is an overly done grammar correction. It's you, and there's very few people that pull it off that go, oh yeah, AL might be O plural masculine. We do sometimes still have singular masculines and feminine plurals that aren't going to be O. Avec un accent régional. Go on then.
Yeah, un accent régional, parce que ça se peut un peu.
It might be confusing for the French.
Ça se peut soit confondre pour les Français.
That was a hybrid. Ça se peut does indeed give me the subjunctive. So ça se peut que ça soit, but that would be a bit like it. Does it mean ça se peut que ça soit? Ça pourrait bien être en français. So you can't use confondre because confondre would be to mix up. So un français typique serait confus. Yeah, a typical French person would be confused. Okay. Sometimes simpler, better. Okay. I was talking about this kind of thing with Al 2 days ago. We were saying it was like when you have a foreign accent combined with a regional accent in the UK. It's almost too much for the brain.
Yeah. Je pensais à Al de ce genre de choses l'autre jour.
Je pensais à Al ou j'en parlais à Al? I was talking about this kind of thing. Alan, I was talking about this kind of thing with Al the other day. We were saying that it's like when there's a foreign accent and a regional accent together, it's just too much for the brain. There's my story. Don't hang off the English words. Just tell it me. Off you go.
Okay. Je parlais à Al l'autre jour.
Don't give me bodyboard. Don't slow down.
Okay.
Je parlais à l'autre jour is the interesting. It's the first point of my line of my story. I'm not interested in it. So I was talking down the other day. It's prep. It's not the end.
Ok. Je parlais à elle l'autre jour de ce genre de choses. Et quand il y a quelqu'un avec un accent régional et aussi, and I don't remember what else it was, a regional accent and...
Don't tell me the working out. You know the story. What's going on? So when they've got a regional accent and a foreign accent together. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Move on. Okay. We can't break rank. We've got to Okay. Good. Lovely. For example, the reason we started having this conversation was because I've done a lot of work with him so that he understands the accent from the south in France. But I told him to not do it because it would be weird with an English accent to do the southern vowels.
Okay. Pour exemple,
Par exemple, par exemple.
That's why that sounded wrong. Okay. Par exemple, je lui ai dit que ça serait trop bizarre de combiner un accent régional avec un accent étranger parce que les gens ne lui comprennent pas.
You've gone back to the previous translation and not the one I just gave you.
Oh.
Yep, I've done a lot of work with him, all about the southern accent. Do you remember? Yes,
yeah,
what we're talking about.
Okay.
So I've done a lot of work with him so that he can understand a southern accent. But I said, don't you do it because it would be weird with an English accent as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Our story's about the South, isn't it? I've done a lot of work with him so that he understands the southern accent in France. But I said, don't you do it because it'd be weird with another. In other words, I don't want him saying things like demain and all this kind of stuff. And saying no. Off you go.
Par exemple, j'ai fait beaucoup de travail avec lui autour de ce sujet pour qu'il puisse comprendre l'accent du Sud. Mais je lui ai dit de ne pas
l'accent du Sud, because it's l'accent. So de Sud is indeed a good thing to have in the mouth.
Okay.
Like like if it was a region, like Afrique du Sud. But basically, like je lui ai dit de ne pas faire.
Okay, de ne pas faire.
Or je lui ai dit de ne pas le faire. I told him to not do it.
De ne pas le faire parce que ça sonnerait trop bizarre.
Yeah, or ça ferait trop bizarre. Ça ferait trop bizarre.
That
would make, okay. Or ça aurait l'air trop bizarre.
Okay.
Yeah, pour que joins with the kill. Yeah, pour qu'il. Yeah. Alors moi, j'ai fait beaucoup de travail pour qu'il comprenne l'accent du Sud et l'accent du Midi, mais je lui ai quand même dit, j'ai fait beaucoup de travail avec elle pour qu'il comprenne tu as l'accent du Midi. Mais je lui ai dit de ne pas le faire parce que ça serait bizarre en combinaison avec son accent anglais, quoi. Mais je lui ai dit de ne pas le faire parce que ça serait bizarre en combinaison avec son accent britannique. Which of those two did you like more? The second wasn't a poorer relation just because it was slower, was it? It was actually more expressive. Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. But I'm happy he manages. I'm happy he's managed to understand that accent, because when we started, he was lost.
Ah, ok. Mais je suis content qu'il ait réussi à...
Why is it a story that you're happy when you haven't told me why you're happy? There's no need for an up. I'm happy.
Okay.
I'm happy he's tell me the story.
Ok. Je suis content qu'il ait réussi à comprendre l'accent du Sud parce que au début il ne comprenait pas.
So we need to split the difference. So we need some. Yeah, so mais je suis content qu'il ait réussi à comprendre l'accent du Sud parce que we need somewhere. Okay. What will happen is in doing this, your muscle memories, your chains of muscle memory will get longer and longer. Yeah? Because in other words, as much as you don't quite accept it right now, if you bodyboard up, you are breaking a muscle memory chain to a degree. So one of the reasons I like people going blah, 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 is that it allows them to memorize longer strands of grammar and vocab. Once you've got those in your mind as longer strands of muscle memory and vocab, you'll then do with your voice what you want to do with your voice.
Okay.
And it'll just sync up with your English. Because you don't, in English, in any way, shape or form, do too much up and down.
Yes.
So it really is an advanced temporary thing to go through.
Okay.
It's basically... You've taught everybody all these tricks so that they can really sound French, but you don't want them using them if it's going to slow the grammar down a bit. Does that make sense? That's in a nutshell. That's what it is. All right.
Okay. I can see that it's when you talk in this kind of surfing way, you're really kind of doing a thought, then you're doing a thought, but I mean, you're breaking up the.
Yeah. So it's like we want you to get into the habit of being able to well, as a minimum, multiple clauses. We don't want to pause between two conjunctions because it might be the same thought. So it's like I'm gonna do the ironing whilst whatever, my friend cleans the kitchen. Alors moi je vais faire le repassage lorsque mon ami nettoie la cuisine. We need to be able to say that sometimes.
Yeah.
There are obviously times when you go, alors moi je vais faire telle chose, par contre toi tu vas. There are obviously times that you do break it up. Of course there are. But it's nice to not have to do that all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, I was talking to my daughter and I was just like, but I wouldn't need to do this because she just wouldn't run into a road. But if I was just like, hey, mais je t'avais dit plusieurs fois de ne pas le faire parce qu'effectivement, putain, il y a une bagnole, quoi. Fais gaffe, chérie. There are times that you need to do that rather than, hey, now listen, I've told you several times you need to be careful. You don't want that all the time. Yeah. But equally, in a dinner party way, it's nice to. And again, final thing, you don't want to spend your kings and queens because you then lose the power of applying them where you really want. Yeah. So if you've got them to play, you can really increase the importance of what you're saying. Alors, monsieur, mais je suis bien d'accord avec ce que vous avez dit. Par contre, vous n'êtes pas tout à fait correct. It's just like that's much more rather than je suis bien d'accord avec ce que vous avez dit. It's much more. C'est vrai que la situation aux États-Unis est quand même un tout petit peu différente, mais ceci dit, you've got that narrative in your voice then. Do you know what I mean? And you lose it if you,
Yeah, and it's just a habit that, you don't want to continue, a habit that just should be broken.
And it's and in other words, it almost needs a false situation of practice. It almost needs for someone to say, okay, just practice when you've just worked out a sentence, or practice finding a sentence for the first time with no kings and queens, so that you get into that habit. So it's like it just requires like a false medium of speech, just temporarily. Even as an exercise between, even if you would never speak in that manner with somebody else, just for right now.
Of course.
Good. Do a couple more because I know I've pushed you a lot and you must be knackered. Luke always makes me work and I'm shattered at the end of the class.
Luc me fait toujours travailler et je suis crevée à la fin.
Du cours.
Du cours.
Well, Luc me fait toujours. So then take that. So in other words, Nina, I'd very much like you to, if it's a sentence that you got out with the either try and find it on the flat or then pop it on the flat afterwards.
Okay. Yeah.
And remember, on the flat means rhythm in place. Don't take the rhythm away as well. That wasn't English. Don't take the rhythm away as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So don't want. Je suis toujours crevé à la fin du cours. It's not like that. Je suis toujours crevé à la fin du cours.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, good. Luke makes me work. Luke always makes me work.
Luc me fait toujours travailler.
Lovely. Now, weirdly, just respecting the rhythm, you had a little bit of upsy downsy there, but that was enough. That was fine.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? That's enough. Where Luc me fait toujours travailler. There's a natural, the rhythm sort of makes that rather than Luc me fait toujours travailler. Okay.
Yes.
And again, I have to stress that there are people that do this. There are people that do go, ah oui, mais Luc, il m'a toujours fait travailler, le salaud. Tu vois, je suis super content de le faire. But and there's a difference because the people that do that, they do it in the right places. So you might go, well, I can hear king, 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 queen, queen, queen in that sentence, but you can also hear the blah, 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 between clauses. And that's the difference.
Okay, yeah.
Ah oui, mais bien que ce soit difficile pour moi, j'ai toujours pris beaucoup de plaisir. Effectivement, travailler avec Nina, ça m'a toujours plu. Mais c'est un candidat elle a une grande capacité pour l'apprentissage de la langue française. This these are feux d'artifice, fireworks that are going to go off, and it really does come down to, is that a fucking normal place for that explosion to happen? Yes or no?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah? It's hardcore advanced work, but I tell you what, if you do this, even what you've done already today, you then go and listen to somebody who speaks for more than 2 clauses in listening, your listening will get badass. Your listening will be amazing. Because I swear to God, people that don't like listening don't like on the flat and more than 1 or 2 clauses, as you probably agree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And one of these days we'll do a listening style thing where I say copy me and you'll be like, oh, yeah. In fact, we are due one of those, which nobody likes. Nobody likes. All right. Good, Nina. Fucking brilliant. All right. Good job. Very well done. Take care, my love. Loads of love.
Bye.